We all know that 2020 was a rough year for a lot of us. And today's guest, the reason why I wanted to have him on is because he's the perfect example of how to stay focused, how to not let uncontrollables control what you do or prevent you from reaching your goals. So we got on today, pro ball player Brennan Davis. Brennan, thanks so much for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Of course. How'd you like that intro?
That was good. You practice it?
Yeah, a little bit. Not. Yeah, so that's really why I want to have you on those, because when you think about what you've been able to accomplish in the last couple of years, it's just amazing. So we're going to get into that, and we're also going to get into the Suns in 4 cleats and the Ken Griffey Jr. picture and the 2021 MLB Futures All-Star Game where you won MVP, which is also awesome. But before we do that, right now you're in Arizona, and that's exactly where I want to start. So let's bring it back to the very beginning of your life and your earliest memories of baseball and your family.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing baseball forever. I definitely played more basketball growing up, but baseball was one of my loves as well. I don't know. I kind of my earliest memory of like having fun playing baseball was probably Little League. We had a pretty good Little League team and ended up making the All-Star team, and we made a little run, and that was really fun. And it really made me like understand how, I don't know, like the winning side of it. Because before then, you don't really play to win. You play like to have fun and have a good time, which is awesome. But I love to win, so it was even more fun. But moving forward, it was just the love for it kept growing, and I guess here we are today.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy too because it works out so well because the Chicago Cubs, the organization that you play for, they got their setup in Arizona. So now that you're in the program, you could go there all year round. So it's kind of crazy. So when you were little, did you go to a lot of Cubs games, at least during spring training?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't go to that many Cubs games. I think I went to one or two D-back spring training games, but I mean, the options are limitless if you want to go to spring training games. So it's hard to choose. But growing up in Arizona, you go to D-backs games.
That's right. All right. So now your mom, she was a great athlete she was a track star. The University of Washington, I want to make sure I didn't mix that up with Washington State. So I looked down for a second, but how crucial was she as a parent for you in raising you? And I know you look up to her a lot. I see the social media posts.
Yeah, I mean, she's been my rock throughout the years. She's been there through thick and thin. Always my biggest fan, no matter what. And she never has anything negative to say about my performance. Like I'll be 0 for 5 with 4 punchies, and she'll be like, "Well, you put the last one in play." she's just always so positive, and she really makes what I do daily a lot better.
And she was the one who's driving you back and forth between all your practices, whether it was baseball or basketball and stuff like that.
Not to mention all the sacrifices she made to make sure I got to all the practices and extra coaching and help that I needed to be successful.
That's right. And now, if I read correctly and did all the research, you got a lot of pets growing up and still do, I'd imagine. But just name the pets. And then also, too, I kind of want to dive deep on that because having a pet of my own and with like diabetes and stuff like that, I know how having a pet can teach you a lot of different life lessons.
Yeah, I mean, currently I have a llama, an alpaca, 2 goats, and 2 dogs. So nothing crazy right now, but we've had horses, donkeys, pigs, peacocks, lizards, bunnies. I mean, you name it, we probably had it at one point or another.
Yeah. So whose idea was it to get all the animals? That's so cool.
My mom grew up an animal lover, so she kind of made all the magic happen throughout my childhood. Like I grew up with a pony. Its name was Dazzle, but it's not. It's I mean, it's not like my choice as a little kid to like have all the animals. Love animals, but I feel like every little kid would want that experience, and I was just lucky enough to have a mom who wanted it with me.
Yeah. So did you have a lot of friends who just want to come over and like pet the alpacas and see all the donkeys and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a petting zoo. It's kind of cool. Like when people come over for the first time, you always take them out back, show them around. But at the end of the day, they're your pets, and I'm a little desensitized to like just having animals in the backyard because they've always been there. But everybody comes over that thinks it's so cool.
Which of them was your favorite out of all of them?
Um, I'd probably say, I mean, definitely my dogs. But other than my dogs that I've had over the years, probably my pony because when I was little, I got to ride it, and there's some pretty cool pictures of me riding my little pony around.
Dude, we got to see those. You got to throw them up. Throwback Thursdays on the gram, man. We got to see Dazzle.
I could dig deep for those.
All right. So, what types of lessons did you learn from taking care of all these animals? Because somebody's got to feed them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had my fair share of chores, but give a lot of credit to my mom because she did a ton. But just the lesson of responsibility, the thing that any animal will teach you, that there's more to life than yourself, and you got to put others first and stuff like that. Just the simple life lessons, I'd say.
Yeah, you know that saying, like, if you're a dog owner or dog person, you're probably a good person. You
Mhm.
have dogs and you have all these other animals, so obviously you're a great person.
Great person.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so it's like you said, like you learn how to be responsible and stuff like that and to care for other people. So like what were some like the types of chores that you had to do taking care of these animals? And because it again, like not every person learns that those types of responsibilities and caring for somebody else and having that
Mhm.
time management, but you did and you helped out your mom.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of the basic stuff. We had pretty easygoing animals, like feeding them morning, afternoon, depending on what their feeding schedule was, cleaning up their excrements,
Yeah.
making sure the lot was in order, nothing dangerous, any trees that fell, any weeds that were overgrown, just the stuff that would make their life a little easier. But it was pretty easy for the most part. Just get on a routine.
Yeah, so you have that routine, right? And you have playing sports, you got your schoolwork and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So how are you able to balance everything out so well, especially like the athletic side because you're just like a freak when it comes to sports.
I appreciate it. I will say that the older I got, I feel like the more that my mom picked up picked up my slack when I was playing sports a lot more and traveling and stuff. It's a lot harder to help when you got a lot going on, but she definitely made sure I did my share. Don't worry.
So right now you're at home. Does she have you doing a lot of stuff out there? Or is it, since it's the off season at the time of this recording, are you just able to relax and chill out?
I help out when I can, but like I said, she does a lot. I don't live here anymore. I have a place with some of the guys up in Tempe right now. So when I'm home, I definitely help out, but I'm not here a ton.
There you go. Good son. Good son over here.
Yeah, when I can.
So now you get to high school, right? And you're playing still both baseball and basketball, and you loved playing basketball. And then it got to a point where you had to pick or choose and decide to really kind of put, I want to say all your eggs in one basket, but like really get serious about one of them, which you ultimately ended up choosing baseball. But was it baseball that was, I guess you decided, what was that, your junior, senior year, that this was going to be the sport that you're going to take up?
Beginning of my senior year, I made the decision, and I don't know. I just didn't want to be good at two sports. I wanted to be great at one. So it was kind of going to come down to whatever I thought I saw myself going further in, and baseball started opening doors, and that was kind of the path I chose.
And then it was University of Miami that you had a scholarship to go play. So I guess like was it kind of tough turning that down?
Like to go play pro ball.
Yeah, I mean like cuz like
Yeah.
there's that college experience but also like even right now like in my opinion I think it's awesome just to like go play professionally, you know what I mean? Cuz a lot of the
Mhm.
contracts and stuff like that these days have the college scholarships within them.
Yeah.
And then also too you're a kid so you could still go out and enjoy all the like college football games and baseball games. I know you're at like a Tennessee game not all that long ago, but like you could still have that experience. But University of Miami, they came calling and that you had committed there, but you did go pro after you had gotten drafted in the second
Yeah.
round of the 2018 draft. So what was the deciding factor for you going from high school to pro ball rather than Miami?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I wanted to be a big leaguer. I didn't want to be a college baseball player. So I needed to weigh my options and think what was going to give me the best opportunity to develop. And I was more of a raw player. So I thought getting into a system like a pro ball system where I could get consistent at bats, work out all the time, train, really get the coaching that I needed was going to be the best for my development and ultimately make me the player that I wanted to be. And I've heard so many nightmare stories of guys going to college that were studs and like had a rough first year and then didn't get the playing time that they needed and transferred out and stuff like that. So I think that was a big thing for me.
So now that year, you were what, like 170, 180 or something like that in
Yeah.
2018, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
then like 2 years later, 2020 rolls around, you're like around the twos. Like, dude, you just
Mhm.
bulked up. So you're literally like growing as a baseball player and growing physically in minor league
Mhm.
baseball. So was that kind of like one of the things too that you kind of realized once you got to pro ball is that as you get older, you need to get bigger and stronger and just to kind of keep up with that season of an entire like summer of baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think I would have had similar growth physically in college because I mean those guys work hard, but I definitely matured physically throughout the years. I think I came into pro ball at like 180. I'm at like 210, 212 right now. So I
Dude,
mean, just
let's
knowing
go.
that,
Yeah, I saw those Hawaii pictures.
just knowing I have to be physically ready to like withstand a year, and the season's long, so I mean the body has to be ready.
Totally. So 2020, you're at the alternate site in Indiana, and then you just stay ready. And again, kind of going what I was talking about at the top of this about how you did not let outside factors determine your outcome or your success. You were able to control the controllables. So, what were some of those controllables that really helped you stay focused? So then that way you could continue to grow.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to do what I can each and every day and know that a lot of guys missed out on a season, and I was really blessed and able to go to the alt site and continue to work on my craft. So I thought that was one of the biggest developmental pieces for me because I got to face a ton of the guys that are in the big leagues right now for us, and then I got to do it without any consequence. Really, there was no stats, nothing to really like look negatively on. So I was able to really go through some growth and like discover some things about myself that might, I don't know, would have been harder to do if I had negative results like that were shown on my player card. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to
Yeah.
really go through changes and like developing when you're being critiqued and judged by your stats each and every day. So I thought that was huge.
Dude, all right. So that's a good point. So the mental side of all this, right? So you don't have all that stuff that is kind of just added pressure. Instead, you get just
Mhm.
get to focus on getting better. But also too, you have that aspect of there's not that many people who are watching you while you're out there, except for your teammates. So
Mhm.
character, right? You define character by what you do when nobody's watching. So how strong of a character did you have to have during that time where nobody was watching and you just really had to focus on yourself?
Yeah, I mean it's tough, and especially like getting up, not having a game to play, just going to practice for like 3 months straight. I think we had probably like 3 or 4 off days. It's tough to like get the mind right, but you just have to be mentally strong enough to be able to withstand and just push through it. Honestly,
And a couple of things I saw that you picked up that year was golf, and you even picked up a magic kit.
yeah, I did. That was during COVID, so there wasn't much to do. You could golf and you could hang out in your apartment.
Yeah, well, hey, you just golfed today, so I mean, it's obviously stuck pretty well. So it's cool that
Yeah.
you're able to learn or develop some type of skill. And then, yeah, like the magic kit, like maybe I'm reading it wrong, but like magic kit doing actual magic type stuff, or are we talking like the card game?
It was no, it was more like sleight of hand stuff. It was just some stuff to like just kill time.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, he doesn't really strike me as a magic type dude. I don't even know that
Didn't
much about
stick.
it, but I'm like, that dude like does not it didn't
No,
stick.
it didn't stick.
Oh man. All right, so like you're able to do a lot of stuff and progress personally on and off the field in 2020, then 2021 rolls around. Dude, you're making headlines left and right. I felt like every other week when we were texting, it was like one time you advance a level, the next time like the season was over, you were in the championship or the playoffs in AAA. Like all this great stuff kept on happening, right?
Hmm.
For you to be as well prepared as you were, I guess what do you attribute to that success? Because again, like you weren't facing anybody outside of people at the alternate side in 2020, and you had to stay focused and really stay on that routine that, like you said, like when you were a kid taking care of all the animals, you learned routine. What do you attribute to that?
I mean, I definitely have a good group of people around me that I would give a lot of credit to, and it's a lot easier to find success when you have a good support system like that. And really just trusting what I did in the off season and how I prepared for the season, and the changes that I made physically and to my swing and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that I thought were like approach wise that were going to work and find success, just like stuff like that. It was just figuring out what I wanted to do and really honing on it and sticking to it throughout the season through the peaks and valleys, because there's definitely peaks and valleys. Just trying not to ride the wave.
Exactly. I mean, I think 2021 was a great peak and valley. I mean, you got hit in the face, and then eventually that was like a tough way to start. And then eventually you got that call to be an MLB Futures All-Star game player, and you won the MVP by hitting 2 home runs in that game out in Colorado. So, dude, talk about just patience and persistence paying off.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about it because it feels like so long ago, but getting hit in the face 3 days before I was supposed to break for an affiliate kind of sucked, but it
Yeah,
all works
dude,
out.
it's so 2020 right there, 2021.
Yeah.
Now, I've watched a lot of interviews and read a lot of different articles and stuff like that. And you got a chance to meet Ken Griffey Jr., which, by the way, because that picture was posted, until you start putting out even more photos, you're probably going to get asked about this probably the rest of your playing career. But that was a pretty cool moment that you got a chance to
Oh,
spend some time with Ken Griffey Jr. and he gave you the award.
oh, it was unreal. I mean, you like you can't write it up any better than that. It's like you see him as a kid, all his highlights, and you're like, wow, that guy's unreal, legend. And then down the road, he's handing me a trophy at a futures game. I was like, that's just. And then they asked me how I felt, and I was supposed to put that into words. I was like, come on, guys, you can't put this kind of experience into words. So that was tough. I might have looked a little dumb on TV, but it's it is what it is, because it was one of those aha moments, and you just I think the only thing that's going to top it is my debut, but that'll be a close second.
Yeah, no, and like you said, like it's Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, what can you say? So I could imagine being in that spotlight, not really knowing or sure of what to say. But which do you think was better for you personally? Was it hitting the 2 home runs, or was it kind of like being on that stage afterwards and kind of getting a taste that stardom and like the limelight, being with Ken Griffey Jr. and accepting the award?
They're pretty close, because I mean, it's not like there's pressure at a big event like that, but it feels so good to just do well at one. Just like hit some balls hard. I didn't even care that they were home runs, just to barrel up some balls and know that I really went out there and showed the world what I could do.
Yeah, no, you definitely did, and it's definitely a great accomplishment. And yeah, dude, Ken Griffey Jr. Did you guys like kid around afterwards? And who are some of the other big leaguers? I mean, like we keep on hearing about Ken Griffey Jr. And again, like a lot of the
Yeah.
articles and the interviews and stuff like that. But there's so many other guys who are there too. So what other types of experiences do you have with the players who are there, past or present?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of more so connected with the players and some of the other big leaguers, because I was just trying to lock in during the game because like they were our coaches and whatnot. But I played the whole game, so I didn't really have a ton of downtime, and I was trying to treat it like a game and stay focused. But there were so many cool guys there, and just being around that kind of atmosphere with those kind of guys, and those are the guys that I want to be playing with and against in the future. So it was a really cool event.
When Christian Yelich was in the Futures game, he was telling me that George Brett had written a letter that he got to take home, and it was to Christian Yelich that he
Wow.
brought with him and saved him. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I guess a few of the guys had gotten on the team. So, was there anything that you're able to take home or were given outside of the award? I mean, I feel like the award is pretty sweet in itself. But
Yeah, I passed around one of my bats. The one that I used in the game got taken to Cooperstown, but the backup bat that I had everybody sign. So I think that's my mom actually put it in a shadow box. It's pretty cool.
oh, nice. There you go. There you go. And another thing that you had from that game too, which also made a lot of headlines, which our mutual buddy Alex Katz, he helped with
Yeah,
the creation of these custom cleats that you had. But right at the time, Suns in 4 was huge with
yeah,
the Phoenix Suns and in the playoffs and stuff like that with basketball. And you're an Arizona dude, and you decided to create these cleats, and dude, they were awesome. They went viral. So between both those things, you were everywhere. But
yeah.
was that a no brainer for you doing the Suns in 4 cleats?
I actually had cats on my double A team, so we were spitballing some ideas back and forth, and then we brought up like Arizona theme, and then I was like, why don't we do the Suns? And then he was like, Suns in 4. I was like, let's do it. So it was kind of a spitball back and forth because it took us a few days, but as soon as the idea came, it was pretty easy decision.
Was that your first taste of realizing how powerful social media could be?
Yeah, I mean, social media blew up over those cleats. I thought it was pretty cool. Happy
Dude,
for
right?
his company. His company's doing so well. He got a little Forbes blurb about him, so that's. I mean, he's getting somewhere.
Yeah, I think he just popped up on my phone the other day with CNBC too. So like that dude is anywhere and everywhere. And I think it was it was in the Olympics, right? When he came out
Yeah,
on the bullpen cart. I'm like, and that was the gift that was going around. I'm like, dude, you find a way to be anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, those
everywhere.
cleats were awesome. And in my opinion too, I know that from knowing who you are as a person and again, like watching everything and just talking back and forth with Alex. But like, dude, you are extremely humble, which I absolutely love. Like, I
I
think that's a
appreciate it.
great characteristic to have. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's kind of gotten a feel for that throughout this conversation, but it's so cool all that stuff that you had been able to do. The other thing that I want to talk about with that, like futures game MVP and everything, right now you're in a great position. You're probably one of the energetic, you are one of the guys who can build the game of baseball. So as you go into your career playing with the Cubs, what's your mindset and what's your approach when it comes to making the game of baseball more fun? Because dude, like you're extremely marketable, and I know that when it comes to content creation, I've seen some of the videos, whether it's like one of your vacations or just something at the ballpark. It's pretty cool. But how excited are you to kind of dive into all of that?
I think it's awesome, and to be in a fan base like Chicago, and there's a lot of opportunities. And I think moving forward, just I don't know, just really taking care of the fans because people don't realize that they're the only reason that we play. So if you aren't in it for the fans, then you're not in it for the right reason. And to win ball games, of course, and that comes first because I mean you don't have a job if you don't. But
Yeah.
I'm excited moving forward. It'll be a lot of fun.
Now, how much experience have you had being at Wrigley and with all those fans? Like, dude, whether it's on social media or in person, they're awesome. It's almost like you're at a family party that happens to be at a baseball game.
Yeah, I mean Wrigley Field is as good as it gets. There's nothing better. There's no better baseball experience. The fans are loyal, they're dedicated, and they get the job done. They do it the right way. So I think I've experienced it probably twice in person when there were fans, like in the stands, being able to see. So it was pretty cool.
So when you were out there, did you get a chance to hit up all the bars around Wrigley Field?
No, when I was out there, I was 20,
Dang.
so I wasn't of age. But
Dude, during the off season, you got to give it a shot. I mean, it might not be as packed or as exciting, but definitely got to get out there at some point.
yeah, I'll wait for an off day or something. Go say hi to everybody.
When it comes to the content creation and stuff like that, how excited are you to do that type of stuff at that big league level and just continue to post stuff and just connect more with fans?
I think it's gonna be awesome, and having a platform like that, being able to make a difference and make other lives better is kind of the ultimate goal. So as soon as I can get there and have a little broader reach, I'm excited to move forward and see what I can do.
What types of stuff will we be seeing? Dude, because you've made some pretty cool videos.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be be on social media and active and all that. I try to get back to fans as much as I can on social media, but I mean, it gets tough at times. But I'm saying more along the lines of like giving back to the community and having foundations and doing stuff that way. And it's just stuff my mom always told me to pay it forward and be grateful for what I was given and make sure to make a difference.
Let's talk a little bit more about this golf and some of the social media posts. Golf you picked up in 2020. Where are some of the favorite places that you've been to so far? And have your buddies been joking around with you about your swing? And does it look like your baseball swing? Because I haven't seen anything posted on the stories just yet.
No, it doesn't look like my baseball swing. It's not very pretty either. um, very mediocre golf game currently. We're working on it. We're grinding, but some of the cool places I've played are like the Phoenician, True North, some of the AZ courses. Have a golf trip planned with some of the guys. We're going to Palm Springs, so that'll be fun.
Ooh. Dude, yeah.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of golf on my bucket list that I want to do, but I want to be a little bit better before I go do that. Make the rounds a little more fun. Start now, suck now, and then be good when I'm a little older.
Yeah. Dude, it's a humbling game too, isn't it?
It's humbling. Humbling. You can
Yeah.
hit 3 shots and then 4 putt. 3 good shots, then 4 putt.
Yeah, totally. Who are some of the dudes who you go with? Anybody in the system?
Yeah, a ton of guys in the system. Let me name them. Jensen, Cole, Franklin, Cole Roeder, Cam Sanders, JY, Chase Strump, Levi Jordan, Tyler Durna. I'm missing some guys, but I mean that's kind of the main group. We have a bunch of guys, a bunch of pitchers too.
Is that the same Cole who flew out to Colorado the night that you won the All-Star Game MVP?
Yeah, he is. He's one of my roommates right now. So I mean, kid rides or dies for the boys.
Dude, right? Yo, everybody needs a friend like Cole. Can like just tell everybody what Cole did that night. When I heard that, I was like, wow, I want to be friends with this guy.
Yeah. So Cole Franklin was rehabbing. He had a little injury this year, so he was in Arizona. He was rehabbing. He was watching the game in the team hotel with one of our guys, and I ended up hitting 2 home runs, win the MVP. He was like, he calls his dad. He's like, I have to be there tonight. Dad books him a flight. He comes all the way up. It surprises me. He's there for the celebration. We're all having a good time, and I already had some friends up there, so it was an awesome time.
Dude, insane. So how late did you guys stay out, or like did he sleep at all, or just hop back on the flight?
I'm trying to think. It was on a yeah. I mean, he had to be at he had to be at like rehab and stuff the next morning by like 12. So he was up at like the crack of dawn to make his flight to get back. So I mean that's for the boys if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of people listening and watching this are probably rethinking their friends or their friend group. Like, who would do that for
Yeah.
me?
You need a Cole Franklin in your life.
Yeah. Yo, another guy that I want to mention too is Lorenzo Kane. You said that you're a big fan of his and stuff like that. Have you gotten a chance to meet him or interact with him just yet? I love Lo Kim, man. He's been like one of the guys throughout my entire career in baseball who's just been like absolutely awesome to me ever since his West Virginia Power days. So we're going back like God, I don't even
Way
that
back.
single A ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, haven't had a chance to interact with him, but I hope to in the upcoming years. I think that'd be really cool. But they do say never meet your what's the saying? Never meet
Oh, your heroes,
your
right?
heroes. Yeah, never meet your heroes.
Yo, not gonna lie, I swear to God, he's the man. He will live up. I don't want to set your expectations high, but he will live up to whatever it is that you think about him. Like he's the
That's
man.
what I'm thinking too. He seems like a genuine guy.
Yeah, I love him,
Yeah.
man. He's so funny and just like some of the clubhouse stuff too that he used to do when he was in Kansas City
Mhm.
with the Salvador
Yeah.
Perez and stuff like that. So I'm just pumped to be able to see you at the big league level and interact with these guys and all that other stuff. So I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the coolest parts of it is being able to interact with all the guys that you watched growing up and they're still around.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, with all the success that you've had, like, how proud of is your mom of you and your family and stuff like that, and just seeing how far you've been able to come? Because, like I said, like that 1 year of not being able to play competitive baseball against other different teams. I know you're at the alternate site, and then coming out and having that huge 2021 season, everything like that. The future's just so bright. But like, how proud is everybody of you and just of like of your dedication to this dream and journey that you're on.
Yeah, like I said, I have an amazing support system, so they're really proud, and my mom sees all the hard work that I've done behind the scenes, and so it's nice for it to all to be coming together, and I don't know, just finding success with what I've done over the years has been awesome.
And if you had to give anybody advice who's listening to this who wants to set out on their own journey and go try to chase down their own dreams, but they think that X, Y, and Z is stopping them, all these outside factors, what would be your advice to them So then they don't even consider anything or have any of those excuses that could be stopping them.
Yeah. My biggest thing would probably be like, don't dwell on the uncontrollables. Take control of your life and what you can control. I don't know. You just have to prioritize the important parts of your life. If you think certain parts are more important than others, then those are what you're going to find success in, or those are going to be your downfalls. So making sure you have your priorities straight and give it. It's hard to explain, but you have to want it. You can't have other people want it more than you. So unless you have that in the drive, then that's what you really need to dig deep and figure out for yourself.
Dude, let's go. Yo, and I love that phrase, man. Dig deep.
You gotta dig deep.
Yes, sir. And I guess before we get into the bonus content and stuff, like one of those things, and I'm gonna circle this back to like taking care of the animals and stuff like that. Like you learned at such a young age on how to be responsible and everything. And like the last like year or so, there's a lot of baseball players, if they weren't at the alternate site, like they were home, like sitting on the couch, like not playing as much, not working out as much. Like that was their choice, that was their decision. But you did not let any of that stuff stop you, and you just kept on plugging away. You put on
Yeah.
muscle, you put up great numbers eventually. So like just to give everybody an idea of what other players were doing during that time, because a lot of minor leaguers were not playing. So I just want to point that out and just give you some praise, pump your tires a little bit for that, just because you easily could have like
Appreciate it.
not worked as hard as you did, and that's what's going to set you up. But again, like I think like taking care of all the animals and having a great mom who raised you, I think that really kind of set that foundation for you to put you in that
Mhm.
position and give you that mindset.
Yeah, I definitely know how to work hard when time's necessary.
Yo, I love the humbleness, man. I love it.
Appreciate it. You won't get anything but it.
Yeah, Alex is telling me he was like yeah, Brennan's extremely humble. Drinks a lot of body armor and he stretches his hamstring all the time. So we've
Those are my
experienced one
three
of those
Qs.
so far. All right, Brennan. Well, I want everybody to be able to stay in touch with you. So how can everybody follow you on social media? Shoot out your platforms.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram _Big B_ or Twitter at Brennan Davis _.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for hopping on. Keep swinging.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.